So y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Merce, and I'm back today with another video. It's about 8:53 at night, so y'all done took my shower. I'm winding down usually at this point in the night, so I got my glasses on. I took my contacts out. This is the raw me, and I wanted to check in with y'all just to give an update on where I've been, what's been going on. We got a lot to talk about, so y'all stick around. So if you've been watching my channel and you've been keeping up with me, you know my last video I talked about my hair transplant, and I did a 1-year review basically on how I was feeling, how I felt about it, basically giving a review on where I went. But since then, a lot has happened. About 2 months ago, according to YouTube, since I've been on here, and a lot has happened, y'all. A lot has happened. Before I get into any of that though, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers who continue to support me, who continue to show up for me. I appreciate that. It goes a long way. I am doing my best to be more consistent, to show up for y'all. And as y'all show up for me, I show up for y'all. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So what I came here today to shed light on for y'all is being a travel nurse. Y'all know I've been a travel nurse for many years, since 21. And I always talk about travel nursing. I always talk about how such a benefit it's been for me, right? Well, as I've been coming through the line, I heard people say and whisper, oh, it's hard to buy a home as a travel nurse. It's very hard. And I never really took heed to it because I wasn't buying a house at that moment. So it was like, oh, really? And it kind of left my mind. And I still knew in my head, okay, I'm gonna be a homeowner one day. But it didn't come back to my head until I say we started our process like late July, August. It was late July. We started our process and we talked to the realtors like day one. And I was like, so is me being a travel nurse gonna be hard for us to get for us to get a pre-approval? Now I'm not gonna go into, before I get into this, I'm not gonna go into the steps, y'all, of buying a home. There's so many different steps, things to remember, things to keep in mind, what to look for in a lender, what to look for in a realtor. Me and Bay are gonna do a video together about that, sharing our experience and what we went through with this journey, because I do feel like we both can lend some good insight on that to help y'all, because we learned a lot. Okay, so I will hold that, but I will talk about my experience being a travel nurse and trying to become a homeowner in the midst of that. So, so I have been told a long time that travel nurse is very hard for travel nurses to get a house. Very hard. And like I said, day one, I asked the realtor, I was like, hey girl, is this going to be a problem? And I think all in her expertise, years of expertise, she didn't think it was gonna be as hard as it was. And I don't think the typical traveler has my situation. If you're a traveler, comment after I tell y'all how it was. Tell me if your situation was harder, if you're a homeowner, or if it was easier, let me know. She was like, oh yeah, we can get you pre-approved, because that's like pretty much the first step of getting your pre-approved, right? She's like, oh yeah, we can get you pre-approved, da da da. I was like, okay, cool, I go and do the application, we do the application, right? But like I said, we'll go into more detail about that and all the other stuff later. But I do want to tell y'all that getting a pre-approval as a travel nurse is very hard. It was very hard for me. For me, I think it was harder than the typical travel nurse because I had several different agencies. So they typically want 2 years of income, standard, whether you're a traveler or not, what are we doing? They want 2 years of income. And being that I was a travel nurse, as a travel nurse, if you take an assignment 1 month, you may go for 3 months, you go somewhere else. You may go to another agency. You may stay with the same agency, but I usually change agencies. So there are 3 agencies that I was with, 3 different agencies that I had been with for the last 2 years. And so my lenders were looking at me like, well, we don't know. This is like unstable. And y'all, one thing I would say that teed me off, there were so many lenders that wasted my time. Like, I sent things to so many, and like I said, we'll get into the rest of that, deeper in that later. But I sent so many different things to lenders just for them to tell me, oh, we got you. 3 days go by. Oh, we got you. Yeah, it just takes time. It just takes time. Week go by. Y'all, the very first, I'm not gonna tell y'all the company, the very first lender we tried, they took us through the mud. Like, I was so impatient because I was ready to buy, like I told you, I was ready to buy a house. I had done the steps, I had done the things necessary to buy a house. I had paid up debt, you know, I had savings, you know, I was ready. And so me on my end, I was ready. They was ready too, but I was ready. And so I was a little impatient, you know, I was a little impatient. And being that they were taking us, like, I'm like, it shouldn't take this long. Like, this is my first time buying a house. But I'm like, it shouldn't take this long to buy a house. It shouldn't be taking us this long to get it. So I'm getting impatient. We sending the stuff. They're like, oh, you know, your travel, it's kind of hard to verify your income, because that's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to verify your income so that they can tell you how much of a house you can afford, how much house you can start looking at. Once you get that pre-approval, then you start looking at homes. So, you know, I say a week go by, 2 weeks go by with this same lender, y'all. 3 weeks go by, I'm not exaggerating. It gets to the point where I call to the top people, like their boss, this person's boss, and we get nowhere. I learned a valuable lesson in that. You don't stop with the first shop. So, I just made it up off the dome, but principle behind it is like, don't just get, with home ownership, don't get so discouraged, because there'll be moments of discouragement. You know, you can have credit that get in your way, and we're going too deep with it. Like I said, I keep saying that, but so much to it. But you have different things that can get in your way, and if you want to be a homeowner, you have to be persistent. So, y'all, in my case, my obstacle was being a travel nurse. I had several different agencies, and they're like, oh, we don't like your income. Like, it changes. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You with this agency, you with this agency, you with that agency, you with this agency. Who do you really work for? You made this year, you made that this year, you made that this year, or you made that at this point in the year. Or like they mainly were looking at 21, and they came around and looked at 23, and then they were like, oh, what about 24? What have you made so far this year? So it's like, and this year, I actually tried a new agency at the beginning of this year, so that really threw them off, right? Learned a lot of valuable lessons. I say all that to say, before I list my lessons though, do not get weary and well doing. Not being deep, but don't get weary and well doing. Keep pushing, be persistent. I was very persistent. You know, I had to go to another lender. We went through several lenders. Went through that first lender, and then we went to another lender. Same case. No, actually, got them first on the phone. I'm telling the lady, like, yeah, girl, like, this other girl, she left me, basically ghosted me. I ain't heard nothing back. She gave me no numbers. She like, what's she doing? She don't know what she doing. They're like, oh, I can get you. Now, you know, it's business, so they gonna talk a good game. I can get you a pre-approval. I can get y'all this. I can get y'all that. Y'all, tell me why it was the same old tiredness, same thing. Week go by. Y'all, I have not heard from this lady to this day. Like, the second lady. Never heard from her again. Like, oh, I got you. Monday, I got you. Monday never came. Monday hasn't come back in. So, that can be very discouraging to people. It was very discouraging. So I know it can be discouraging for other people. Went to another lender, you know, had a little bit of luck, but it was still the same issue. With lenders, I learned that a lot of them don't like doing the work to get you. They want you to get pre-approved because money, of course, but they don't want to put in that work. They don't want to do that extensive digging, and because I guess, I don't know, but they don't want to do all that work. They will leave you hanging. And I've learned that. Nobody can tell me different. They will leave you hanging and they will ghost you, and it's very unfortunate. But I mean, hey, you're the one that wants the house, so you gotta fight for it. You gotta get it. And whatever lender is willing to take that time for you, that's the lender you should go with. We'll get into that later, like I said. I'm so itchy to get into it. But lesson I learned as a travel nurse. So I learned that if you're a travel nurse and you want to buy a home, you've been traveling for a while, or maybe you're just not starting your travel journey, and you plan to travel for a couple of years. You say a couple of years from now I'm gonna travel, and a couple of years from now I'm gonna buy a home. Try to stick with the same agency. I would say try to stick with the same agency if you can. If you're gonna change agencies, keep it a minimum of 2. I would say 2 agencies. I would say if this is 2024, if you're gonna travel cross country, what is it called? I think it's called cross country. If you're gonna travel cross country, 2024, 2025, I would take at least one contract. If you just gotta switch agencies, I would probably go with another agency. 2025, come back to cross country so that they can see, okay, there is some consistency with the people you're employed by, because they look at the companies as employment. Like, they look at them as the actual employed place, but that's not how we operate as travel nurses. They're not like us. But anyway, so you gotta keep that in mind, that they don't look at the travel agency, you know, like, oh, this is a travel job. It's they look at it as, okay, you're switching jobs. That's how they look at it, literally. And you are in a sense, but not really. So I would say that I would recommend that for, you know, new travelers that are traveling right now. Try to stick with one agency, 2 at the most. Try to be as consistent as possible. Try to keep your income leveled. Don't make 41 years, make 100 the next year. If you're gonna make 100, try to make 100. If you're gonna make 300, try to make 300 both years. Try to keep it around the same so that when they go and look at your income, they can say, okay, well, your income is consistent, and you know, we can trust that you, because basically they're trying to see that if can they trust to give you this money. Can they trust that you're gonna make the money to pay for this house, to pay for this mortgage? So try to keep your income on a consistent number. If it's gonna be 100, 98, 90s, you know, that's fine. But don't have no 100 and then you come around here making 50. So, you know, try to keep it balanced, because that's gonna be a red flag to them. What I had to end up doing. Now, I will tell y'all what I had to end up doing. I've told everybody this, so it's public. But what I had to end up doing as a travel nurse, something I said I would never do, and probably have mentioned it on several videos. Y'all probably gonna be like, what? What I had to end up doing is going back staff. I had to go back staff. Y'all, I went back staff, y'all. I went back staff. And if you know, you know. You know what's tea. Went back staff, and I thank God for my manager. She's amazing. I call her on the phone because I'm real like that. And I was like, girl, I'm gonna be real with you. I want to go back staff because I really need to buy this house. Like, I'm really trying to buy this house. They want to see some consistent income. I just need to go back full time. And so that they can see this income, and I'm willing to work, girl. I'm willing to work because I gotta get the money for the down payment anyway. So I'm willing to work. I'm willing to put in the work. Schedule me. Put me on the schedule. Where you want me? Where you gotta get me at? So she was amazing. She did that for me. I will forever be grateful to her for that. And I did that because not that I lost faith, but it taught me that sometimes you just gotta bend a little bit. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice a little bit to get where you want. Sometimes you gotta go take a step back so that you can take 5 forward. And so it's not something I wanted to do, but you know, it got me where I wanted to be. And so it wasn't permanent, it was only temporary. So I'm very thankful for that, and I realized, okay. And if you're watching this video and you want to be a travel nurse, that might be something. If you want to buy a house as a travel nurse, that might be something that you have to do. I'm not discouraging you. I would tell you to look, and look. keep looking for lenders. Most lenders though, and most cases, they're gonna wanna see consistent income. So if you've switched a lot of agencies, it's going to be difficult. I'm just preparing you. Not saying that it's impossible. It is possible because I'm living proof that it's possible. You just may have to make some adjustments. Now, thankfully, I had a PRN, because I preach to y'all, keep you a PRN in your back pocket. I have 2 PRNs actually. And so all it took for me to do was to go to the PRN and become full-time. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all why the PRN did not work out as bad. It's good. Why I couldn't say PRN and just say, oh, I'll use this. Because PRN income is not guaranteed income. You can work 1 shift this week, you can work 4 the next week, you can work 5 next week. There's no consistency that is required. You're kind of your own man. You're kind of scheduling how you want to work, when you want to work, how you want to work. When you're full-time, which is why most of us are not full-time, you have to work a set amount of hours, and usually that's 3 shifts, 3 12s a week, traditionally. And so that tells the lender, okay, well, I know he or she, I know they're gonna make at least da-da-da-da-da because they got to work at least 3 days a week because they're full-time. But if you're PRN, there's no commitment there. So if your mortgage is such and such and such and such, and you're PRN, it requires more discipline for you to make that money because you technically don't have to go to work 3 days a week. You can go 1 day a week and be done. So there's no consistency there. It's more consistency full-time, which is why I had to go full-time. I saw that as the best option for me and on my end of the bargain when we were going through me and Babe were going through our process. So keep that in mind. You may have to go full-time. You know, it doesn't have to be permanent. You know, once you get in your house, you can go back traveling, which is what I did. You can go back PRN. Once you're in your house, you're in your house. I mean, now, once you get your offer letter, once you get your pre-approval, stay full-time. Don't leave, don't go traveling before you get in your house because they're gonna go back and circle back around and they're gonna check your income to make sure that you stayed full-time like you said you were. So keep that in mind. Do not do that. But yeah, that's just a nugget, y'all. It was difficult as a travel nurse. That's one con. I did a video about pros and cons of travel nursing, and I guess that would be another con of travel nursing, buying a home. It is harder than the typical. Can it be done? Yes. But it just depends on your circumstances and how many different agencies you travel with and how many different times have you switched jobs. Now, some people, and it's another thing, if you're a type of person where you will go on a contract and you'll extend for a year, you'll be fine. You should be okay. I don't do that. Y'all know, if y'all been watching, if you know Mercedes like you know Mercedes, you know when I go on my contracts, I'm out. Can't stay too long. I'm out. Like, I gotta go. So I'm not staying nowhere the whole year. I'm not staying nowhere no 6 months. So, you know, of course, my employment changed every 3 months. But yeah, y'all, stay encouraged. If you want to buy a house, you're a travel nurse, it can happen. It's totally doable. Stay persistent. Like I said, me and Bae are gonna do another video, just kind of telling y'all the deeper details of buying a home because it's so much to it, and it's a blessing. But it's so much to it that you don't know about until you actually get into it. And you know, maybe we can help y'all with a little bit of that and help y'all see a little bit of that before you get into it. But so much we learned. Oh my God, there's so many things that we gonna tell y'all. Y'all know how we do when we get together. We give you the tea. We give y'all the tea. So y'all stick around for that video. That video is coming out. I hope you got something for this video. I hope this helped. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until we see each other again, y'all already know what to do. Y'all be good.